If you want to use AI to help you with your cover letter, there's a couple different ways that you can do that. There are some AIs that say that they're going to create a cover letter for you from scratch, and then they'll give you a PDF or a Word document back. Those are a good place to start. You can use them to give it your description of yourself, of the job, and then it'll give you a suggestion. But whatever AI you end up using, you do have to double check whatever it tells you. So take that suggestion, read it yourself, see what it's telling you, and then see what you want to keep from it instead of just uploading exactly as the AI says. I know that might be tempting because it'll save you time, but that's not really going to make you stand out within the job. But we can use AI to help us get started. So I'm going to use just my ChatGPT, but you can use any other ones, Copilot, Gemini, whatever is your favorite. So let's start by asking it what goes into a typical cover letter, just to see where do we even start? Let's say you've never written one before and the job is asking you for one. So here it's telling me, okay, so first is the header, salutation, introduction, body paragraph, conclusion, closing. So perfect. It tells me exactly what needs to go onto a cover letter. And let's say I want you to, can you give me an outline for a generic cover letter? Because I don't even know what that even look like. So now it's going to give you, okay, perfect. So it tells you to put your name, your contact info, employer's name, dear hiring manager, and then it tells you how we should put these into here. So let's say I actually do have a resume already, and then I want it to read my resume. Can I create a cover letter based on my resume? I'm applying to a clinical business office worker position. Now I'm telling it that I'm going to give it my resume, but I'm also going to tell it that I'm applying to a specific position because I want it to not just give me a generic cover letter, but tell me what can I include for my resume and from the potential job that can go into my cover letter. So let's see what it does. All right, so it's giving me a tailored cover letter for that position. So it tells me what I can put on there, it kept my information. So it tells me what can I transfer over. I think this is a bit long. It's telling me, this entire section, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, and then a closing. I think that's a lot of information, but it's a good place to start to see what I can transfer over. And you can use this for a guide of what you can keep. But let's say we want to actually have it update cover letter that we already have. So I already wrote this previously, and I wanted to ask it, can you give me suggestions or comments on what to improve on this cover letter I wrote? And it's going to read it for me, and then it's going to give you suggestions of how you can update them. So you can read them and see if they're a good suggestion, if they're helpful for you. You can also tailor it even more by telling it what you want it to keep or what you want it to remove. So for example, I'm going to go back to a job posting. So for this position, and I want to say, copy that. Can you use your suggestions plus use some of the information from this job description to improve my cover letter? So now I pasted the job description and now it's going to use all of that information that we've talked about to give me a new version of the cover letter that I have, and it's going to tell me, okay, so you have your cover letter. I gave you some suggestions as an AI, and I have the job description now, and now I'm going to give you this new way of writing this cover letter. So now I can read through this and say, okay, is this sounding robotic? Is it sounding in my voice? And I want to keep that information and transfer it over to my cover letter. But again, just rewrite it in my own way. You can use other things for it too. So let's say if you wanted to include the mission statement, you can tell it, let's say you find the mission statement for the business that you're applying to and put it on here in the same way and say, can you include the mission statement? Or let's say, can you mention something about my goals for working in this field for the next 10 years? So if you wanted to include that, it'll take your information and continue to update the cover letter in your way. But this is just a good place to start. It's just somewhere that you can get suggestions of what you can do for a cover letter. It's not, the end all that you have to like submit exactly to a job, but it's just something to give you suggestions. And if you want somebody to look over it, I always suggest that. You still need that human touch of, is this cover letter being read correctly as the way that I want it to? So have a friend or family member or somebody in the field already reading it. Or if you have career coaches, so if you're a student here at UNLV or wherever university, you can also ask them to look it over so they can give you suggestions on how to improve it. But that's what I would do. I would start by just having it give you an explanation of what a cover letter is, and then giving you feedback on the current cover letter you have or making one for you, and taking that information to update your cover letter, but not exactly just copy pasting onto your document to submit.